Hi everybody, welcome back to the TreeTopChat. This is episode number 39, which means that we are now the most viewed or the podcast with the most viewers episodes in the world, which we think is quite cool achievement. So of course we thank everybody who has been participating in the chat and also all the viewers who have been watching this along the way. We've been going for almost a year now, so we have plans to continue, of course. So thank you again for watching. Today we'll be speaking to Paul from SIP Protection, who is the business development manager at that company. So SIP Protection, as you probably know, is one of the leading clothing brands in our industry. So as usual, if you have any questions, leave them in the as we go along or after. So we'll see if we can get Paul online here in a minute. Ah, there he is.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And yourself?
Well, quite well.
Good. You're working from home?
Yes, for the last many months.
Yeah, I know. It's getting very, very boring, this, how's the situation in Belgium?
Well, I'm actually living in France.
Oh, you're living in France.
Yes, but it's a bit the same. It's not funny.
No.
We have what is called curfew at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Nothing is open, no bars, no restaurants, nothing.
Terrible. What about the vaccine program? Has that started?
I think in Belgium they have vaccinated about 4% of the population. I don't know. I think I'm still a long way to go before it's my turn.
Yeah, I know. They're doing this in groups, of course. So, but it's going to take a long time. Seems to be very problematic for people to plan, this massive operation.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the chat, Paul. So, can you start with telling the audience a little bit about yourself? Have you worked in the tree care industry yourself, or?
I'm not a tree care person. The closest I've been to trees is about cutting firewood and so on. But since I'm in this business, I'm more involved. I think I started about 20 years ago, and then I got also some passion for it, and I went to Germany to take some A-course classes in climbing, just to know about it. But I have more of a business background.
Okay, okay. So, how did you then end up working at SIP Protection as the business development manager?
Um, I worked for a company in Belgium named Sion, which is one of the largest European PPE manufacturers, doing product development in general. At the time, I was working, for instance, on a program that was protective clothing for people working in cold storage rooms, minus 40 degrees and so on.
Okay.
And then I was working on a forestry project because they wanted to get into forestry chainsaw protection. And then in 2001, SIP Protection was a French company, was for sale, and we purchased SIP Protection, and
Okay.
that's
So you
how.
come from that side. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So, have you been working with design of clothes for a long time, or?
I started doing that in '98.
Okay, that's quite a while.
Mm.
Okay. So when did you say Cian acquired SIP Protection? Was that when did you acquire SIP Protection?
Oh, that was in February 2001, so that's exactly 20 years ago now.
Exactly. Okay. So tell us a little bit about a day in the life at SIP Protection. What do you do? You seem to be doing many things at SIP Protection. So give us a glance when Corona's not around, when you're working in the office.
Well, in the times before Corona, I was traveling between 200 and 220 days per year, visiting customers, visiting trade shows, suppliers, lots of people around. And then with Corona, it all went down to not traveling at all anymore. So it's still strange, but I don't have a normal day in the office. It's every time it's more interesting. It's special. It's different. I can have production meetings. I can have product meetings. We can have sales meetings, trainings, giving trainings now, training sessions for staff by teams. Well, it's quite varied, yes.
So it sounds a lot of fun because, not a single day is like the other, huh?
No, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot of change.
Yeah. So when you were traveling a lot, did you, go across the world or, made predominantly in Europe or?
Well, our core business is in Europe, but we have some business in Canada, in the USA, Japan, Australia, and so on. And of course, yes, I have to go there once in a while. It's less traveling than in Europe, that's sure.
Okay. So, but you're the people that are supplying your raw materials are they mostly in Europe as well, or are they in Asia or?
It depends. Blocking material mainly comes from Europe. Protective stuff, safety stuff, outer fabrics. There's not many outer fabrics that come from within Europe now anymore.
Is it
And it all
China
depends.
or?
It can be China. It can be there's many countries where you can find it. Depends on the fabrics that you need. It's
But do you have like a quality control function as well? So you check out that they live up to what they say they're going to deliver.
I don't do it myself, of course, but within Sion, we are a large manufacturer, so we have different divisions and we have some group services, and quality control is one of them. So what we do is all raw materials get checked before they get into production, and then after production we do some quality control as well. So especially now that chainsaw PPE has become a category 3 PPE.
Yeah.
We have our own in-house test rig to test the blocking material before it's used in production. And then once products come from production line, we also test them again.
Yeah, I saw you actually have the the test rigs from the different decades in your new catalog that came out like a week ago.
That's correct. Well, we have that state of the art, the last generation test rig that we bought about 5-6 years ago. And that has the same value as the ones that you can find in the most performing European laboratories. So it's quite helpful in performing safety checks.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So, tell us a little bit about the brand. How did it start? And how has it developed over the years.
Okay. SIP used to be a French manufacturer, started about 75 years ago, as a manufacturer of regular trousers, pants that you're wearing, supplying most of the retail chains in France. And then most of the customers went out to Far East sourcing, and so we needed to find a different solution for that. And one of the ladies in the production room in France, her husband was a teacher in the forestry school about 5 kilometers away. And he explained about those trousers coming from Sweden over Germany into France. And at the time you had only Stihl and Husqvarna bringing them. But they were too heavy and too thick for the French warm weather. So Zip Protection developed some new stuff. They were, well, at the time, the only ones to have a 6-layer thinner blocking material. And I think that's how it all started. And Zip Protection was also the first not chainsaw manufacturer to have protective clothing. But I believe now we have some more colleagues in the market.
Yeah. So that really, happened by chance. If she didn't work there, you might as well have been doing something else today, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, that's quite funny. So, what do you think, separates the arborist market in particular, apart from
Sorry,
the protection part?
sorry.
What what
I mean,
what do you think separates the arborist market in particular? Is there any special needs or
I would say if you're putting your life hanging on a rope, you're more sensible about safety. Um, that's one thing. I feel that in many countries, people working on the ground are less committed to safety and chainsaw protection in general. And then secondly, if you climb a tree and you walk around and you do lots of flexing and so on, you need more comfort in your chainsaw clothing. That's yes, that's what I feel.
so? What about the piece of fashion that goes into the protective clothing? That seems to be more and more, coming into the market that,
Mm.
you need to have the right colors, you need to have, details on the clothing, the seams have to be maybe a different color and all that. So I suppose I know that you're working hard on that, but when did you think that came kind of into play?
Um, oof, I think the first step we did was around 2004 when we brought in the 5.1s with rainbow stitching on it. They were all black over with yellow pockets and rainbow stitching, and people went crazy about them. Uh, Nowadays, it's getting very complicated to know what to do, both for us as a manufacturer and for you as a dealer. What do you need to stock? There's so many choices and so many options, and
Yeah,
it's getting quite complicated. Yes.
yeah. Yeah, it's very difficult because people like different colors and they want to match up with their boots or their
Mm.
jackets and things like that. So it's becoming more and more a bit of a not maybe a fashion industry, but it's those things matter for a lot
Yeah.
of people. So give us some insights to the R&D process. What is it like for a new product? How long time does it take? What steps are involved and so forth.
It all depends on what development you want to make, of course. If it's just an update, looking for new fabrics, new blocking material, it's different than if you have to go through the complete design. But in general, I've said it, the main concern today, apart from design and fabrics, is all about safety. Where being a category 3 PPE, there's lots of rules and new certification testing methods. It doesn't make life easier. So most of the time we start from the blocking material. If we look for something new, of course, we already listen to the market. We try to find where we could see where we could bring something new. And then we sit around the table with some people, brainstorm, talk about fabrics, what designs, look at other products in the market as well, of course, which is successful, which is working, not working. Once we have the design, we make samples, then it goes into test. We have some people that do testing for us. And on the feedback, we redesign or we change, we do other things until it's ready. and then it goes into the certification, which can take a long time as well. So,
and you also have some some companies out there that are using, you know, your bases and make kind of redesign them a little, right?
What do you mean exactly?
I think, you know, there's at least one company I know of that are using, you know, the SIP protection, you know, trousers and have made some small redesigns to them and kind of, you know, rebrand them.
Yes, well, when we can, we do it ourselves. You know, we can make stylings for other companies as well based on our products. So we are on one side, we are a manufacturer. SIP Protection is our brand, and we can also manufacture for other companies. And of course, if somebody looks very closely at our products and makes a very similar product, there's not much you can do about it. Just take it as a compliment and continue the work.
Yeah, exactly. No, my point was really that, you know, the products must be really good for other companies to choose, you know, SIP protection to kind of use that and rebrand it. So I think that speaks for your company. That's, you know, quality company.
Got you. Yeah.
Very good product. So, you know, how long is the manufacturing manufacturing process for different products? How long time does it take to make sew a pair of pants, for instance?
If it's from scratch, a completely new product that we start in production, it may be up to 8-9 months. Because you need to collect all your fabrics, your raw materials. You need to have you have an order book that's hopefully nicely filled, and then you need to schedule it in, and then you need to transport it back. So it may take easily 6 to 9 months.
Okay, and once you have them, you know, how long does it take for a single person to complete a pair of protected pants, for instance?
If one person would make a complete pair, it would probably be 2 to 3 days. That's why this happens in the production line, and the product, depending on the complexity, may take up to 2 hours of working time. Of course, that's just the stitching, the assembly. I think you also need to consider the preparation, the purchasing of fabrics, and all the other people that are involved. It's a whole teamwork.
Yeah. Okay. So there are different you know, departments in manufacturing process. So there's one department that is doing, you know, the cutting of the fabric and then hands it over, stitching, and you know, the buttons and all that stuff. So there's different persons doing different things, right?
Well, the production, the planning, and of the whole production process is a very stressful department. I think in our business we can get some pressure, but these people have pressure all the time because it's always too late, it's never in time, it's always something missing. It's quite complex. Yeah. And they need to get all the pieces, all the trims, everything together at the right moment, the same day, so that production can cut the fabrics and then stitching can start.
So have you encountered any problems now because of COVID on the raw materials that it's harder to get in?
Oh yes, not only on raw materials. We have some production plants. We own all our production plants, and we have some in Indonesia, for instance. We have in Romania. We have had staff. Well, if half of your production of your staff is ill because of Corona, it's complicated. That's one thing. Because of Corona, you have to put people farther away, for instance. So you have less capacity for production, you get more delays. Suppliers have problems, they face the same problems, and then you have all the shipping problems. less traffic. Containers are not going back and forth, so it's just staying in one place. And yes, again, the operations department, they get all the stress.
Yeah, I know. It's been a lot of implications. I heard, there's a lack of tarp, for instance, in the world because, the producers of tarp, that delivers to the people that, stitch bags and stuff like that from tarp.
Mhm.
It's, very difficult to get material in. And like you said, the ships can't go into port because, uh, some people have corona in the crew and, they have to sit in quarantine for 3 weeks. And so, yeah, I think we're all suffering from that. Um, so, which products do you think are the products that SIP Protection are the most proud of in making?
That's a good one. I don't think we have one product because every generation of or any time has had its own products. But I would say like the 5.1 at the time, that was a big hit because it was, well, it answered all the questions from the market at the time, especially in tree care. And then the innovation too, the first really lightweight ones that were below 1 kilo, um, those marked a milestone as well, I would say.
Yeah, of course. So, in your opinion, what do you think makes a great product?
It's not us who decide, it's the customer. If the customer likes it and it's an answer to what the customer wants and the user says he's happy with the comfort, the quality, and so on, and it becomes successful, that it's the customer in the end who decides upon that.
So, do you think the innovation, for instance, has been one of your biggest hits?
I would say yes. It's in volume, not yet, because it's more focused on tree care, and tree care is a smaller market than forestry, actually. But it is quite successful because of the ventilation that is continuously, because of the stretch, and it's a nice product,
Yeah.
and I would like to see it evolve in time as well.
So in terms of the size of your business, how big is the forestry, the brush cutting, the tree care?
But brush cutting is mostly administration, cities, municipalities, and so on. Less, it's the smallest one, I'd say. Then tree care will be what, I don't know, between 30%
Okay.
of the market, and then the rest goes into forestry, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you have a very, very big selection of products. And I saw that you're discontinuing some of the older products that are now, you know, uh, not selling anymore. But
Mhm.
is there any upcoming products that you can tell us about? I saw some
Oh,
of the news, of course, in the catalog. But is there anything else that you can share? Or do you want to talk?
I've
Do you want to talk about those?
I would like to talk about the gecko climbing trousers that well, we were going to talk about them in April, but since you asked the question, I can talk about them now. It's a new climbing trouser with our quite successful Tection four-way stretch with Cordura. It's got a new design. It's got more ventilation features. It's got more fancy colors, which is a bit tendency in the market.
Yeah.
And I must say the first reactions were quite positive when we introduced it to the dealers, and now we should have it available for the market, in less than 2 months' time.
Yeah.
We've put some pictures already on Instagram, and we've had some people testing them already, and they are very enthusiastic, so that's positive.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm waiting for my delivery because I have a pre-order.
It will be on
So
time.
yeah, okay, good. Because I was so surprised that I found them in the catalog, but because uh, everybody was talking about April release date. So,
Mm,
but it was on the website, so that's why I thought I could ask you about them.
mm. The thing with a catalog is you cannot change it once you launch it, and that's a big question. Do you
Yeah,
put it in? Do you not? There's stuff not in the catalog where we thought we might put it, but let's wait a few more months until it's more clear. That's the big
yeah,
question.
yeah, exactly.
But our website is always up to date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, looking forward to get those into the store here. It's going to be very interesting to see how they are. So I also saw that you released a pair of new boots, more like a basic protective boot.
Yes, that's a very basic boot, and to be honest, it's still in production.
Okay, but it's still in the
Um,
catalog.
yes, well, that was one of the things where we said, do we put it, don't we put it? And we could have waited, maybe.
Yeah. It's called a timber, I think.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you anticipate in terms of release date on that one? Is that going to be after the summer or is it going to be before summer?
In these Corona times, I'm not confirming. I don't like to confirm deliveries because we're depending on so many factors.
I know.
Transport can be delayed easily with weeks already. So I'd rather not, especially not when the world is watching.
No, I I can understand. But it's going to be, it's good to see that you're bringing out new products. That's very interesting and good news for the industry.
We're
So,
working on.
um, so at work, give us your funniest job story. And I'm not talking about working from home.
No, no, I'm sorry, son. I need to think now. Um, there's plenty of nice situations. I would say something that it wasn't funny. Yeah, was it funny? No, it was exciting. It was a great time. I think it was at the European climbing competition in Vienna, where there was a Saturday evening event, and food was very long, and everyone was getting tired. And then suddenly there was this concert from the Three Magic Beers. And I think everyone who was there will and who's listening will start smiling and remembering that evening because it was yes, uh, it's in the memories for all
Yeah.
times.
So everybody kind of got revitalized from that because they
It
were
was it
tired
was
before.
uh, it was yes, it was massive.
Cool.
It was like a wall of into your face.
And when was this?
Was it 2013 something? ETCC Vienna? I'm not sure about the date.
Okay.
Uh,
I wish it was there. Sounds
oh,
like fun.
it was great. And since then, they've been playing around on some competitions. It's three guys from Belgium, and they are great. Well, it's
Cool.
more guys
So,
now.
okay. So, where are you in France then? Are you close to Belgium?
No, I'm living in the southwest, in the area of Toulouse,
Okay.
because in the beginning, when we purchased SIP protection, I was spending here a week every month. And after a while, I started realizing that this is a very nice area to live in. And now it's more of the opposite, and I spend a week per month in Belgium in the other way when
Okay.
I'm traveling now.
Yeah. We had a guy from Toulouse on the chat a couple of weeks ago. French guy, Islam. So, not
Yeah.
sure if he's watching. I also had a customer in the store today that is moving to France next month. to
Good.
Breton.
All right.
Yeah, very nice. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it the day there. Do you have any questions for us, or is there any questions from the audience? See here, we have one question here. What does it say? What what new items are coming to market from SIP? I think we addressed that, right? So it's the gecko and the timber and maybe something else that you can't share. Am I correct?
Correct. Yes. There's something else, but it's not finished yet.
Yeah. And I think there was some redesigns on some of the clothing that I saw in the catalog, but that's more details. So a biggest mistake learning at SIP protection.
That's a.
That can be hard to answer.
Um, I've got a few. It's too many to tell, but we're learning a lot. I would say it like that. I think the one. No, there's two major mistakes we made. And one was that one day we certified some trousers with some new blocking material in the laboratory, and everything was fine. And when it went on the market, we found out that they were not conformed to the certified standard, so the delivery was different, and that was a painful situation because we have to take it all back and then do it again.
So everything had to go back, right?
Yes.
Total recall of everything that's been shipped out.
Yes, that's many years ago, but it's still a painful memory.
Yeah, I can imagine. You know, that happens with the car manufacturers. You know, almost every month you see that in the news, right?
Yeah. May I have a question for the audience?
Sure. Go ahead.
What can we do better? I'm interested because we like to learn a lot.
Of course.
And
we'll wait a minute here and see. You know what feedback we get on the chat box. I suppose people are typing. Hopefully. There's nothing coming in, so I suppose you know you're doing everything right already.
I can't imagine that, but okay, let's believe that.
Yeah. Well, you know, if something shows up here, we can share it. You know, let's see here. What is this? Working closely with the end users. I think you're doing that already, don't you?
We try to work. We try to visit and attend a lot of trade shows to talk exactly with the people who wear them. Yeah. And we are going to work closer together in a kind of a testing program with specific people. Also, we're going to work that out better.
Okay. Good. I think there's another one. Can you see?
Okay.
Launch in the Indian heat. Oh, clothes for the Indian heat.
Clothes for the Indian heat. You know, I suppose people want you know, clothing that is very very light and very, you know, cooling when you're working in, you know, very hot and humid temperatures.
You may have a go at the canopy.
Yeah. Is there something else here? I never tried a pair, but would love to give it a go. Somebody said here, so you know, potential new customer there. Okay. If anything else comes in, we'll share that with you, Paul. But thanks for being on today. It was very interesting to hear, you know, the process and what you're doing at SIP Protection. You're doing a great job, I think. So thanks for spending your time with us tonight.
Thank you, Herman.
Thanks everybody. Thanks everybody that was watching. We'll have a new guest next Friday, and Have a very nice weekend, everybody, and you too, Paul. Take care.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Bye. Bye.